Prophecy Research Initiative presents The Harlot and the Beast, Revelation 17, by Franklin S. Fowler, Jr. A book that goes along with this Revelation 17 series is When the Church Rides the Beast, which can be obtained by contacting Prophecy Research Initiative. We now continue our studies on The Harlot and the Beast, Revelation 17. Lesson 4, the special numbers 8 and 10. There is more to Revelation 17 than to simply identify the harlot and the beast with its 7 papal heads centered in Rome. What they stood for and how they will shortly impede God's end-time work under a religious guise is becoming current truth. God used labels exposing divine horror: harlot, mother of harlots, drunk with blood, martyrs, Babylon, fornication, blasphemy, abominations. This prophecy now moves forward in time. The story of these demonic characteristics deepens as this lesson progresses. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. We previously reviewed these texts. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. Those 2 verses span the end-time period of papal world power in an illusion of continuous evil arising from the abyss. 1929. The harlot now sits on the beast, Vatican state, that came out of the abyss, containment. 3.5 years, the 3 angels' messages spreads throughout the world. The world's last warning. Then the beast is now permitted to silence God's witnesses, and then perdition. We have, however, a new portrayal of that beast in 1711 in a transition within that period. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. The 8th is not identified as a head, but as the beast. The beast that had ascended and come is now the 8th. It is sequenced as the 8th. This means that this beast is reincarnated after the 7th head. It is a new creature. This beast comes after Pope Benedict XVI's reign. He emerges as a new kingdom. Its Greek word continues as therion, meaning a ferocious, brutal, ruthless creature. Since he too is going into perdition or everlasting fire, it is distinctly a demonic, satanic, devilish power. Is this the same Vatican state we've observed before? We will see that it is far more. The word perdition is God's final fire and brimstone, the inferno which annihilates all evil. In that termination prophecy, he first addressed the beast and his friend, the false prophet, described later in Revelation 13. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. God chose to report on Satan's end later, though by the same lake of fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. These verses give us a terminal sequence of the destruction of earth's evil forces. Beast and false prophet cast into eternal fire, heads and horns plus the earth beast. And Satan the dragon cast into eternal fire. Is this the 8th? That will be answered soon. Whatever this Roman Catholic power, or Holy See, morphs into, it will have a unique, intimate bond with the demonic powers of the abyss. That place of evil angel containment will be fully opened up later, 5th trumpet. However, Satan has, in this prophecy, greater freedom than his minions. He will actually become visible to mankind before that 5th trumpet sounds. We will show that his appearance comes just before the appointed time, or 42 months, 3.5 years. This adds graphic clarity to these end-time sequences. 1870 to 1929, is not. 1929, ascended, is come. 7 heads, popes, Pope Pius XI to Pope Benedict XVI. Demonic beast, the 8th, now. 10 horns giving growing support, New World Order. Dragon, Satan, gives special power to beast, 3.5 years, 42 months. 10 horns are crowned, New World Order. Then to perdition. In between the 8th beast and when Satan gives special power to beast, this is where 6 events must soon occur. Those events are: Number 1. A leader is chosen who is charismatic and who the world will quickly wonder at. Number 2. He is fully open to satanic influences. 3. A new world order must be activated by those 10 horn symbols, giving sympathetic power to the Holy See. Number 4. The judgment of the living commences. Number 5. Calamities occur that are so severe that mankind cries out to God for help, setting the stage for a religious law. Number 6. Satan appears as an angel of light. Recall that this beast is filled with the names of blasphemy. It is a despicable monster carrying a religious prostitute. Biblically, the number 8 represents a beginning again. On the 8th day, a new week begins. On the 8th day, Christ arose and the Christian dispensation began. Since this beast is designated as the 8th, it is new and distinct. But there is something more sinister about this. The way each sequenced event is described, this new beast has symbolically dispensed with the 7th. In fact, there are many scholars that see this as a veiled indicator that this beast will promote Sunday worship with the 8th day honoring the resurrection. One example. This pattern of 7 to 8 equals 1 was familiar to the early church. It is a concept that those raised in the great liturgical traditions can grasp. The 8th day was the day of the resurrection of Christ, Sunday. It was also the beginning of a new week. The 7th day, the Jewish Sabbath, is held over to be replaced by the first of a new series, namely, Sunday. Could that become one of the demonic legal issues which will emerge from the darkness of this 8th beast? Those scholars were brilliant. We will later see that when the friendship between the sea beast and the earth beast reaches its zenith, the mark of the beast and the image to the beast become pivotal issues. In the book, When the Church Rides the Beast, it is shown that their mark relates to changing that Decalogue requirement. When the prophecy of Revelation 17 moves to 13 and the 8th becomes its mark, this beast will exercise oppressive world power for 42 months. Prophecy foretells a restoration of her power. She will regain control of the world. Romanism as a system is no more in harmony with the gospel of Christ now than at any former period in her history. The Protestant churches are in great darkness, or they would discern the signs of the times. The Roman Church is far-reaching in her plans and modes of operation. She is employing every device to extend her influence and increase her power in preparation for a fierce and determined conflict to regain control of the world, to re-establish persecution, and to undo all that Protestantism has done. Between the beast's ascension, coming, and perdition, eternal end, 3 beast prophecies are sequentially given in Revelation. 1929 to 2013. 7 sequential popes, ending with Pope Benedict XVI. Heads. 2013 to 10 world powers, New World Order, give growing support to the beast, Harlot beast. Horns. They war against Christ. 42-month period. Era of the dragon-supported sea beast and the earth beast, Revelation 13, which becomes a world power. This coalition blasphemes God and wars with his saints, persecution, martyrdom. This now brings us to the next beast transition verse in our journey within Revelation 17. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. There are 2 PowerPoint studies on this and the next verse available from Prophecy Research Initiative. They relate to the New World Order. We will review only a few key issues here. Horns in prophecy usually represent kings or kingdoms, giving authority or power to the beast they are on. Horns can also represent groups of people in support of their beast. Look at Daniel 8:8, where the ram has 2 different sized growing horns. Since the horns of this beast are later shown to have kingly crowns, an early phase of 10 nations or power divisions is being depicted. This is phase 2. Without crowns, Revelation 17, 10 divisions, not yet nations. Later, with crowns, Revelation 13, 10 divisions, seen as distinct world powers. Our text notes, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. The horn imagery is kingdom acquisition anticipated. This story began with this man. Pope Pius XI was the first of the 8 beast heads. In many encyclicals, he attacked democracy, individual economic policies, and global moral social standards. Dr. E. Boyd Barrett was a sinister Jesuit psychoanalyst advisor to this pope. He published a book that reflected Pius XI's geopolitical thinking. The following quotations are from Jesuit Boyd Barrett's book, Rome Stoops to Conquer, by Julian Messner, New York, 1935. In Pius XI, as few people seem fully to realize, the Catholic Church has, for the first time in several centuries, a leader of supreme genius, of indomitable purpose, and of untiring energy. The Church under Pius XI's superb leadership has become a world power again. Not only is her prestige enhanced, but her will is largely obeyed by the most arrogant of dictators. By this time, 1935, half of the countries of the world had begun to send ambassadors to the Holy See. The Church is an organism capable of miraculous readjustments and transformations in the struggle to preserve herself. God on earth he believes himself to be, and means to be. He believes that the destiny of the Church will be fulfilled in America, and that with the spiritual conquest of America, the world dominion of the Church will be regained. Meanwhile, through his press, he reminds Americans that to the Church alone belongs the right of reforming the social and moral order. This is exactly what Pope Benedict XVI, head number 7, claimed through his social encyclical Caritas in Veritate, Love in Truth, in 2009. Additionally, in recent documents, he reminded the world of what the Catholic Church might be able to do geopolitically. Barrett continued, "Here in America we are witnessing another of those resurrections which may mean for us, sooner or later, submission to the spiritual overlordship of the Holy See. As a reminder, the Holy See is the woman and the beast, the Roman Catholic Church and its Vatican state. Should Rome triumph, she will ascend to a higher state than she has enjoyed heretofore, a world power. In the fight, as she has ever fought when battles were most desperate in the past, Rome will use steel and gold and silvery lie. Rome will stoop to conquer." That's hard to believe from a religious leader representing Pope Pius XI. The Roman Catholic Church will even sin to see that her aims are achieved. Pius XI died in 1939. In less than 2 years, documents came out of the State Department of the United States promoting a new world moral order. It was to be based on a common monetary system. All natural resources would be nationalized and distributed to all nations. Though the source of these ideas was reported to be from the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, the concepts that were printed on a 1942 map of the world were exactly what Pius XI had proposed. This is when the concept of dividing the world administratively, yes, into 10 regions, was made public. An international criminal court was also suggested. All the regions were to be bound together by a league of nationalities. This is the map of how the new moral world was to look, published in 1942. In 1968, this organization was formed by Aurelio Pesci, an Italian industrialist, and Alexander King, a Scottish scientist, at David Rockefeller's estate in Bellagio, Italy. The Club of Rome was a think tank with the singular objective of creating that new world. Its publications became world famous. Limits to Growth and The First Global Revolution are examples. Out of this, the environmental movement gained momentum. According to their philosophy, divided nations require common enemies to unite them. Quoting, "Either a real one or else one invented for this purpose must develop. Because of the sudden absence of traditional enemies, new enemies must be identified. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, and famine would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through changed attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself." Again, it is most interesting that many of the issues that the Club of Rome later outlined were initially proposed by Pope Pius XI. They too divided the world into 10 divisions or regions. We are suddenly reminded that Nebuchadnezzar's image had 10 toes that were destroyed all at once. The same collective destruction occurs to the 10 horns on the beast of Revelation 17 and 13. Daniel was given a message that the giant image of Nebuchadnezzar would have 2 distinct timing applications. "Thou art this head of gold." Number 2, "In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom." At the time the stone is cut out of the mountain, it breaks in pieces all at one time, the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. When that stone arrives, the whole image is taken down. That second application comes when the image symbols are collectively together and then come to their end. God's eternal kingdom then follows. Lest this not be seen, Daniel was later told regarding the 4 beasts. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, historical application, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time, end time. The implication? There is an end time meaning for those 10 toes and 10 horns. In the context of those 10 horns on this Revelation 17 beast, we are again told, "These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." The number 10 in prophecy reflects fullness, completion. There is no need to go beyond. The 10 Commandments, or the Decalogue, is complete, a full summary of God's will. These 10 horns represent planet Earth's final divisions of power, which makes the papacy a geopolitical force with unbridled power. In 2009, the United Nations divided the world by what they called a 10-regional grouping. It is close to what the Club of Rome had proposed. Reflecting again on Revelation 13, we note regarding that beast, "Power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him." John was warned that at this time Satan would know that he has only a short time. He panics, knowing that this is his last chance to conquer or be conquered. "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath." As his poster child, the papacy prepares the way for Satan to personally make his debut. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Since the Bible's number 8 does stand for beginning again, God gives Satan a final chance to prove that his moral arguments are right. This new beginning will only become the wicked's destructive end. The prince of this world cometh. Satan deceiveth the whole world. When does Satan begin his kingdom push? Note carefully this insight. In the last days, Satan will appear as an angel of light, with great power and heavenly glory, and claim to be the Lord of the whole earth. He will declare that the Sabbath has been changed from the seventh to the first day of the week, and as Lord of the first day of the week, he will present this spurious Sabbath as a test of loyalty to him. Then will take place the final fulfillment of the Revelator's prophecy. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. Now we know when. The eighth emerges with 10 horns. Satan appears as an angel of light. The onset of the last 3.5 years. 42 months. Revelation 13. Final application. God permits something dramatic to occur here. Satan is permitted to release his angels from the abyss for 5 months. This is the message of the fifth trumpet. It will be a time of horrors. Satan sees that he is about to lose his case. He cannot sweep in the whole world. He makes one last desperate effort to overcome the faithful by deception. He does this impersonating Christ. He clothes himself with the garments of royalty which have been accurately described in the vision of John. He has power to do this. He will appear to his deluded followers, the Christian world, who received not the love of the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, as Christ coming the second time. He proclaims himself Christ, and he is believed to be Christ, a beautiful, majestic being, clothed with majesty, and with soft voice and pleasant words, with glory unsurpassed by anything their mortal eyes had yet beheld. Then his deceived, deluded followers set up a shout of victory. Christ is come the second time! Christ is come! He has lifted up his hands just as he did when he was upon the earth and blessed us. The saints look on with amazement. Will they also be deceived? Will they worship Satan? How will you tell the difference? The only ones who will not be deluded are those who know with precision what the Bible teaches. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first, the first event at Jesus' second coming. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord, the second event. And then shall that wicked Antichrist be revealed, whom the Lord shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven, and they, earth's inhabitants, shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. The Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. The arrival of Jesus will be dramatic, and every person will see him. God's people will be caught up into the clouds to meet Jesus in the air. Recall the 3 great prophetic beast expressions in Revelation 13 and 17, 1929 to 2013, 7 sequential popes ending with Pope Benedict XVI, 2013 to 10 world powers, New World Order, give growing support to the beast, Harlot beast. They war against Christ. Satan will appear as the Messiah. 42-month period. Era of the dragon-supported sea beast and the earth beast, with world power. Beast prophecies, Revelation 17 and 13. 1929, beast ascends as a church-state power. Then there's 7 papal heads, or harlot beast. In 2013, 10 horns without crowns, coalition with beast harlot, 10 world regions bond with Holy See, demonic Holy See leader, the 8th. Satan as an angel of light. This is all under the New World Order. Then the beast ascends from the sea, slime of the world. There's 10 horns with crowns, 3.5 years, 42 months. There's 3 phases to this. Now we are entering the second phase. Satan knows his time is short because he is a student of prophecy. In fact, he has used demonically inspired followers to write parallel prophecies of the apocalyptic end. These are very insightful because they help to affirm how the devil will deceive and persecute in his final standoff with Christ. Here are a few to rivet home what we are now transitioning into. Saint Malachi Omogar, 1102 AD, predicted sequential papal heads, which has been uncannily accurate. His last pope, Benedict XVI, was to be followed by a leader called Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman. Then, he said, the understanding of Babylon's mysteries would occur, the harlot of Revelation 17. Petrus Romanus is number 8. Malachi said that he would guide the final period of the church, but at the end it will be destroyed. Following Malachi, St. Francis of Assisi, 1182 to 1226, noted that at the time of the end a man, not canonically elected, will be raised to the pontificate, who, by his cunning, will endeavor to draw many into error and death. He will not be a true pastor, but a destroyer. Then came a Marian apparition from La Salette, France, 1846, approved by Popes Pius IX and Leo XIII, regarding apostasy within the Catholic Church when it would become the seat of the Antichrist. The earth will be struck by calamities of all kinds, in addition to plague and famine, which will be widespread. There will be a series of wars until the last war, which will then be fought by the 10 kings of the Antichrist, all of whom will have one and the same plan, and will be the only rulers of the world. The wicked will give themselves over to all kinds of sin. This will be the hour of darkness. The church will suffer a terrible crisis. Rome will lose the faith and become the seat of the Antichrist. More recently, 1955, Father Herman Bernard Kramer wrote that the last pope would rule with a rod of iron the whole world as the man of sin. It was revealed to Cardinal Mario Luigi Chiappi, 1909-1996, that the last papal leader will lead the church into apostasy. Terrible things are to happen. The late Malachi Martin, Jesuit, noted in his book Windswept House that Lucifer was formally enthroned in the Roman Catholic citadel June 29, 1963. Why? To raise within the church Lucifer as the true prince over Rome, to assure sorcerous embodiment of that spirit into a priest who would later become Petrus Romanus. Shortly thereafter, Pope Paul VI was inaugurated. With knowledge of that event, he said, "The smoke of Satan has entered the Vatican." Mystic Roman Catholic theologian and prolific author Ronald I. Conte Jr. said, 2004, that the final pope will reaffirm the authority of the Roman pontiff over the church, and will emphasize the supremacy of the Roman Catholic faith and the Roman Catholic Church above all religions and denominations, and its authority over all Christians and all peoples of the world. Conte added that during this pope's reign, the first part of the tribulation during our generation will begin. The record of spiritualistic manifestations regarding end-time prophecy is protean. Suffice it for now, 2013, we have passed into the second phase of the beast's apocalyptic prophecies recorded in Revelation 17. Ponder the words of the late Malachi Martin. The papacy insists that men have no reliable hope of creating a viable geopolitical system unless it is on the basis of Roman Catholic Christianity. The raw power of that oldest religious tradition will soon show that it is everything but Christian. Revelation 17 tells us exactly where we are in end-time events. When Satan appears as an angel of light, we will know that those 6 areas previously noted will have been accomplished. Then, laws that will coerce the conscience of God's people will occur. God has given to us wonderful insight regarding this period. This promise is special information for us now. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Will you be one of his overcomers? For more information, please contact Prophecy Research Initiative. God bless us as we follow his word, study to show ourselves approved unto him.